Good morning, Hope family, and welcome again to our daily devotion. This morning we're going to be looking at Psalm 14, another Psalm of David. Today we'll be focusing on the first three verses, but I'll read it for us and then we'll dive in. The fool says in his heart, "There is no God." They are corrupt, their deeds are vile, there is no one who does good. The Lord looks down from heaven on all mankind to see if there are any who understand, any who seek God. All have turned away, all have become corrupt. There is no one who does good, not even one. Do all these evildoers know nothing? They devour my people as though eating bread. They never call on the Lord. But there, but there they are, overwhelmed with dread, for God is present in the company of the righteous. You evildoers frustrate the plans of the poor, but the Lord is their refuge. Oh, that salvation for Israel will come out of Zion. When the Lord restores his people, let Jacob rejoice and Israel be glad. Here in the Psalm of David, we are faced with another psalm of wisdom that is calling us to be wise by warning us against folly. Here, David begins by telling us about the poor, about the fools and what they say. He says the fools are the ones who tell themselves that there is no God, who deny the existence of God. And David says you can see them. They are those who are like this. Those who deny the existence of God are like this. They are those who are corrupt, whose deeds are vile, who can do no good thing. It says those are the ones that you can see that the denial of God does not just end there as a mental or intellectual stand that you don't believe in God, but it has resulted in the bankruptcy of morality. That they are the people who are corrupt, the people who can do no good. Because they're saying there is no God, and this is what has led them to. And David points and says, the Lord, verse 2, looks down from heaven on all mankind to see. Here the reality that you get in verse 1 of these fools who proclaim, who say to themselves, there is no God. They deny his existence. And verse 2 with the reality that God is in fact there, and he is the one who is looking as if saying to mankind, who is holding mankind accountable, which is obviously a standpoint idea that is contested and denied by so many in today's world. But the Bible stands that God is the one who created everything, including us, mankind, and he is the one that is set us a way how we should live. And here you can see this is what he's looking for. It says verse 2, to see if there are any who understand, any who seek God. That God is there sitting and watching to see if there's any person who's understanding. Understanding here is acquainted with wisdom, with being wise. And here, saying being wise, it will look like a person who seeks God. Because God is looking for anyone who is wise, and being wise is anyone who is seeking him. Looking at that, and for me the picture that I get is that that we are created for God. We are created to have a relationship for God. Hence God, he is searching, is searching for us, is looking for us, watching for anyone who is seeking him. And that is right to God, because saying as whether it be Colossians 1:15 talking about how everything was created by Christ, through Christ, and for him. Yet we live in a world where we think we live for ourselves, that we live for ourselves. We are here to chase our own dreams and ambitions, and we disregard God. So God is looking to see if there's anyone who is seeking Him, who's looking to have that relationship with Him. Verse 3, this is what God finds, since all have turned away, all have become corrupt, there is no one who does good, not even one. So instead of finding people who are wise, who are seeking Him, God finds people who have turned their back towards Him. And those who have done that, you can see here that it has led to them to corruption, to decay. And here David is primarily talking about probably the powerful, the rich of the day, who are oppressing the righteous and the poor of the time. But Paul makes it clear in Romans that this is in fact a reality of all mankind, whether Jews or non-Jew, live in all corners of the world. We share this one common reality, that all have turned away from God. Then that there is no one who does good, not even one. And now we know that is bad news, because 5 and 6 of this psalm gives us a hint that this will not end well for the fool. The one who denies God, the one who is turned away from God, it will not end well for him. And yet Saint Psalm encourages to follow David in verse 7, in seeking God, in looking and waiting for His salvation. And this seeking is not too difficult for us as Christians, that we don't have to go high up on the mountain or to Mars to seek God. We don't have to go down in the depth of the earth, because God has come to us in His Son Jesus. And He says that He is the way to the Father. And He also, Saint Jesus says more than that. He says, anyone who comes to the Father will never turn away. So we have that confidence that the one whom we're created for a relationship with, that has made it possible for us easy by sending His Son. Not only that, we see that His heart is that if we have a desire to seek Him, He will never turn us away. And it's good news saying that as in this time of the pandemic, that we may be thinking about many things, that we may be so focused in being healthy, not getting the virus, being sick, or even worse, dying. Or we are focusing on being physically healthy during this time, being mentally well at this time. And yet we may neglect to ask, how are we doing in relation to God? How is our relationship with God? Which here you can see it is the most important thing. That is what we're created for. That we are the ones who are created to be seeking God. And that in this time here, that we can continue to seek God, even this time of the pandemic, that I would say that even more in this time. And we can seek it like David does in verse 7, with joy and gladness, because we know how our story is going to end. Whether we catch the virus or we don't, we know that our story ends well, ends with God, who will restore all things. So my call for us there, as you're listening there, if you have not sought Him, God, that is to seek God, because that you were created for Him. That for us as Christians is to continue to do that every day. And then we seek Him. We know as Christians that we seek Him in His Word, we seek Him in prayer, and we seek Him as we speak to other Christians. So I want to pray that in this time, let us not be fools. Let us not be people who deny or forget God, but let us be people who regularly seek God, who is our life, who is the reason we were created for, and who is the one that we know is going to restore all these things and make everything right one day. Amen.